Hi everyone, good day. I'm Jenny Balyunga Bilover. And before we're going to our discussion, let's have first a prayer.
A little boy of 13 was on his way to school. He heard a crowd of people laughing and he went to take a look. Thousands were listening to the stories of one man. He spoke with such wisdom, even the kids could understand. The hours passed so quickly, the day turned into night. Everyone was hungry, but there was no food in sight. The boy looked in his lunchbox at the little that he had. He wasn't sure what good it'd do. There were thousands to be fed, but he saw the twinkling eyes of Jesus, the kindness in his smile, and the boy cried out with the trust of a child. He said, "Take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all to feed them all." I often think about that boy when I'm feeling small, and I worry that the work I do means nothing at all. That every single tear I cry is a diamond in his hands. And every door that slams in my face I will offer up in prayer. So I'll give you every breath that I have. Oh Lord, you can work miracles. All you need is my amen. So take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all. I hope it's not too small. I trust in you. I trust in you. So take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all. No gift is too small.
The topic that I'm going to discuss is legal basis vis-a-vis the learning environment. It consists of 3 parts. First is the learning environment, second is Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, and third is the Deaf and Child Protection Policy. But before that, these are the objectives of the lesson. The objectives of the lesson. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to Define the learning environment, DepEd Child Protection Policy, and Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Analyze the importance of learning environment, DepEd Child Protection Policy, and Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Third is identify ways on how you can apply this policy and act in a real-life situation.
For you to be motivated, let's have a drill. This drill called photographic memory. I will flash a picture and allow you to familiarize objects given in the picture. Players should not make any notes, and at the end of 30 seconds, you should write down the list of objects you remember in 1 minute. Check your own work. Good luck! For our review, in your own understanding, what is grading and cheating?
My motivation is stop the bus.
Okay, these are the mechanics. I will select three categories: place, things, and animals. I will choose four letters from A to Z at random to be filled up. These are B, S, P, and C. You are given 1 minute to answer. When the time is up, you need to stop the bus. You need to stop answering.
Learning environment is a place where teaching and learning takes place in the most effective and productive manner, wherein a student can learn more effective and productive. What is learning environment? It consists of the classroom and all the instructional features and non-threatening classroom climate needed in planning and implementing all teaching and learning activities. If we talk about non-threatening classroom climate, it is a place wherein a student may feel safe and comfortable. In narrow definition, learning environment simply means a classroom. But if we widen our definition, learning environment is a physical and social environment that surrounds a learner, including learning resources, technical equipment, curriculum, fellow learners, teachers, with her implicit learning theories and teaching methods.
Importance of learning environment. A negative learning environment or setting that adversely affects student learning, such as low student achievement, poor behavior, students' anxiety, or depression.
A negative learning environment can affect not only the ability of a child to learn, but it also affects the child's well-being. However,
Positive learning environment or one that allows students to feel comfortable and confident as learners.
if there is a positive learning environment, then there is a positive outcome. The child may feel secure and have the desire to learn more. Also, their curiosity may grow so that they are now more open for a new learning. Have you noticed that every time we are not comfortable with our surrounding, we can focus? Those conditions can also happen inside the classroom, wherein we can focus on learning. Therefore, physical condition of the classroom is important for us to learn effectively. Physical condition of the classroom. First, the clean and orderly setup. Second, the natural light and doing fresh air. Next, free from noise coming from the surroundings. Lastly, the doors and windows could be opened and closed with less difficulty and noise. It is believed that the cleanliness, proper arrangement inside the classroom can boost the confidence or the positive aura of a people or a student inside the classroom. Natural light and doing fresh air. It can add the comfort and ease of students. Free from noise coming from the surroundings. Students' concentration and interest are easily sustained. The doors and windows could be opened and closed with less difficulty and noise, so that it can't distract the attention of the student during the discussion or during the allocated time. In classroom proceedings, it accommodates different types of learners. Students who are visual learners can excel in class, and hands-on learners may also do well in class. Arrangement of furnitures can affect the child's ability to learn. Did you ever notice the classroom had the same types of arrangement of furniture? Let's find out where we should place every furniture, what is the purpose of that furniture, and what furniture should the classroom have.
Arrangement of furnitures. The table for demonstration is located in front of the room, and the chairs facing it are neatly arranged with sufficient spaces in between for ease in moving around. Display shelves for safekeeping of projects, collection, and standing work are located at the sides. Attached to the wall is the bulletin board for hanging posters, announcements, and illustrations about the unit being undertaken. During discussions, the board in front is used for clarifying step-by-step procedures and making clearer diagram illustrations and figures.
A facilitative learning environment encourages people to be active. By having a positive learning environment, it is not impossible to make students active not only in listening but also in participating. It also promotes and facilitates the individual's discovery of the personal meaning of idea. A facilitative learning environment encourages every students or every person to showcase and share their idea to everyone, in which differences is good and desirable. Facilitative learning environment promotes diversity regardless of your age, gender identity, cultural background, social status, you are respected. It recognizes people's right to make mistakes. It allows you to make mistakes because through your experiences or through your mistakes you can learn from it. It also wants every person or every individual to feel free from mistakes and not afraid to make mistakes, use it for good and learn from it. Encourage openness of self rather than concealment of self. Facilitative learning environment encourage you to show your talent, to show what you got. Be proud of it. Don't hide it. Let everyone see or know your talent. Be open and be confident. Facilitative learning environment encourage people to trust themselves as well as their external sources. Facilitative learning environment wants people or students to know that they should trust themselves for a better and productive life. Don't let your negative aura ruin your life. Trust yourself that you can do everything, that you can achieve your goals. You should also gain trust to the people around you because those people can affect your life in a good way. People feel that they are respected, that they are accepted. Facilitative learning environment helps you to feel respected and accepted by the people around you, except for who and what you are.
The classroom climate involves temperature, lighting, colors, and noise level in the classroom. The classroom space refers to the space for the teacher and the space for the student. The relationship in the classroom refers to the teacher-student relationship and student-to-student relationship. The classroom materials are the desk, chairs, whiteboard, bulletin or notice board, and lastly, the cleanliness of the classroom. This table represents or shows the differences between the good and bad learning environment. There are 10 characteristics of a highly effective classroom. First, the students ask the questions, good questions. Second, questions are valued over answers. Third, ideas come from a variety of sources. Fourth, a variety of instructional materials or instructional design methods are used. Fifth is classroom learning empties into an authentic community in which students can use their learning into a real-life situation. Learning is personalized by a variety of criteria. Seventh, assessment is persistent, authentic, transparent, and never punitive. Eighth, the criteria for success is diverse, transparent, and co-created with students and families. Ninth is learning habits are constantly modeled. And last, there are constant opportunities for practice.
Republic Act Number 10627 or Anti-Bullying Act of 2013 is an act requiring all elementary and secondary school to adopt policies to prevent and address the act of bullying in their institution. It consists of 9 parts, but for today I will only include in my presentation those important details. In Section 2 of the Act, it is stated that bullying is any severe or repeated use by one or more students of written, verbal, or electronic expression or a physical act or gesture to cause physical or emotional harm or damage to property to another student. It creating a hostile environment at the school for the other student, it infringing on the rights of other student at school, or materially and substantially disrupting the education process or the orderly operation of a school. Bullying can also done by name calling and commenting negatively on the victim's clothes, body, and looks. Such as, but not limited to, any unwanted physical contact between the bully and the victim, like punching, pushing, shoving, kicking, slapping, tickling, headlocks, inflicting, school pranks, teasing, fighting, and the use of available objects as weapons. Other forms of bullying. Bullying done through the use of technology or any electronic means known as cyberbullying. Social bullying is most common in or among students than gender-based bullying. The school should they should educate their students to respect and accept those students who belong to LGBT community. They should also educate them to what could be the possible effect of bullying in some. All public and private kindergarten, elementary, and secondary schools and learning centers shall adopt policies to address the existence of bullying. In adoption of policies, all elementary and secondary schools shall provide students and their parents or guardians a copy of an anti-bullying policies being adopted by the school. Such policies shall likewise be included in the school or employee handbook and shall be conspicuously posted on the school walls and website if there is any. Some students cannot handle their depression and the embarrassment. That's the reason why they tend to commit suicide. Disciplinary sanction imposed upon the perpetrator of bullying or retaliation. He or she shall be required to undergo rehabilitation program which shall be administered by the institution concerned. There are disciplinary measures for those bullied.
The school head may impose the following on the bully or offending student that is proportionate to the act committed: written reprimand, community service, suspension, exclusion, expulsion. The bully shall also be required to undergo an intervention program supervised by the school's Child Protection Committee.
Child Protection Committee is the one who initiates information dissemination programs and organize activities for the protection of children. Throughout this discussion, we can discuss further about Child Protection Committee.
Handling cases of bullying in schools enables students to anonymously report bullying or retaliation, but no disciplinary administrative action shall be imposed on a perpetrator solely on the basis of an anonymous report.
Section 3 focuses in providing counseling or referral to appropriate services for perpetrators, victims, and appropriate family members of said students. Subject of a student who knowingly makes a false accusation of bullying to disciplinary administrative action. Educate students on the dynamics of bullying, the anti-bullying policies of the school, as well as the mechanism of such school for the anonymous reporting of act of bullying or retaliation.
Upon receipt of a report, the school principal or the designated school officer shall promptly investigate.
Included in the section is the mechanism to address bullying. The school principal or any person who holds a comparable rule shall be responsible for the implementation and oversight of policies intended to address bullying in school. The designated school principal should identify the range of disciplinary measures or administrative action that may be taken against the perpetrator for bullying or retaliation, which shall be commensurate with the nature and gravity of the offense.
If determined that the bullying or retaliation has occurred, the officer shall take appropriate action and notify the parent of those involved. If it is determined that bullying or retaliation has occurred, the school principal or the designated school officer or person shall notify the law enforcement agency if the school principal or designee believes that criminal charge under the revised penal code may persuade against the perpetrator. Take appropriate disciplinary administrative action. Notify the parents or guardians of the perpetrator and notify the parents or guardians of the victim regarding the action taken to prevent any further acts of bullying or retaliation.
In addition to the disciplinary sanction imposed upon the perpetrator of bullying, he or she shall required to undergo rehabilitation program and the parents shall also encourage to join the rehabilitation program. These are the prohibited acts. Consistent with Section 3 of the Act, the anti-bullying policy shall prohibit bullying at the following: Bullying on school grounds, property immediately adjacent to school grounds, at school-sponsored or school-related activities, functions, or program whether on and off school ground, at school bus stops, on school buses, or other vehicles owned, leased, or used by a school, or through the use of technology or on electronic devices owned, leased, or used by the school. And retaliation against a person who reports bullying, who provides information during the investigation of bullying, and who is the witness or has irreliable information about bullying.
Intervention programs. The disciplinary sanctions imposed upon the perpetrator of bullying or retaliation. First is rehabilitation program shall be administered by the institution concerned. The parents of the said perpetrator shall also be encouraged to join the rehabilitation program. Next is counseling, life skills training, education, and other activities that will enhance the psychological, emotional, and psychosocial well-being of both the victim and the bully. The Department of Education or DepEd shall include in its training programs, courses, or activities which shall provide opportunities for school administrators, teachers, and other employees to develop their knowledge and skills in preventing or responding to any bullying act. Mechanism and procedures in handling bullying incidents in school. Students shall participate and cooperate in all prevention, intervention, and other measures related to bullying implemented by the school. Avoid or refrain from any act of bullying. Intervene to protect the victim unless it will jeopardize his safety and security, and report to school authorities any incident of bullying.
Mechanism to address bullying. Any member of the school administration, student, parent, or volunteer shall immediately report any instance of bullying or act of retaliation witnessed or that has come to one's attention to the school principal or school officer or person who designated by the principal to handle such issues or vote. DepEd Child Protection Policy is a policy and guidelines on protecting children in school from abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of abuse. DepEd Child Protection Policy or DepEd Order Number 40 Series of 2012 consists of 26 chapters.
Statement of Policy. Pursuant to the 1987 Constitution, the state shall defend the right of children to assistance, including proper care and nutrition, and special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, cruelty, exploitation, and other forms of prejudicial to their development. The Constitution further provides that all educational institutions shall inculcate patriotism and nationalism, foster love of humanity, respect for human rights, appreciation of the rule of national heroes.
Article 15, Section 3 of 1987 Constitution for the information and guidance of all concerned.
The Department of Education issues the enclosed copy of the policy and guidelines on protecting children in school from abuse, violence, exploitation, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of abuse, entitled DepEd Child Protection Policy. Statement of Policy. The Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, aims to protect children from physical or mental violence, injury and abuse, neglect or negligent treatment, maltreatment and exploitation, and sexual abuse.
The same convention establishes the right of the child to education and with a view of achieving this right progressively and on the basis of equal opportunity. It obliged the government to take measures to encourage regular attendance in school and reduce dropout rates. Thus, it is mandated that all appropriate measures shall be undertaken to ensure that school discipline is administered in a manner consistent with the child's human dignity.
Department of Education provides special protection to children who are gravely threatened or endangered by circumstances which affect their normal development. It aims to ensure such special protection from all forms of abuse and exploitation and care as is necessary for the child's well-being, taking into account the primary rights and duties of parents, legal guardians, or other individuals who are legally responsible and exercise custody over the child.
In this connection, the Family Code empowers the school, its administrators and teachers, or the individual, entity, or institution engaged in the child care to exercise a special parental authority and responsibility over the child. While under their supervision, instruction, or custody, the department recognizes that cases of abuse may arise as a result to the difficult situation faced by teachers and other officials within and outside school.
Department of Education reiterates a zero-tolerance policy for any act of child abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of abuse, and hereby promulgates this department order.
DepEd has adopted the policy to provide special protection to children who are gravely threatened or endangered by circumstances which affect their normal development and over which they have no control, and to assist the concerned agencies in their rehabilitation.
Child refers to any person below 18 years of age or those over but are unable to fully take care of themselves or protect themselves from abuse because of a physical or mental disability or condition.
For purposes of this department order, the term also includes pupils or students who may be 18 years old, age and older but are in school.
Children in school refers to bona fide pupils, students, or learners who are enrolled in the basic education system.
Whether regular, irregular, transferee, or repeater, including those who have been temporarily out of school, who are in the school or learning centers, premises, or participating in school-sanctioned activities.
Pupil, student, or learner means a child who regularly attends classes in any level of the basic education system under the supervision of a teacher or facilitator. School personnel means the person single or collectively working in a public or private school. They are classified as follows: school head and other school officials. Academic personnel includes all school personnel who are formally engaged in actual teaching service or in research assignments.
Either on a full-time or a part-time basis, as well as who possess certain prescribed academic functions directly supportive in teaching, such as registrar, librarians, guidance counselor, researchers, and other similar persons.
Other personnel includes all other non-academic personnel in the school. Child protection refers to programs, services, procedures, and structures that are intended to prevent and respond to abuse, neglect, exploitation, discrimination, and violence. Parents refers to biological parents, step-parents, adoptive parents, and the common law spouse or partner of the parents. Guardians or custodians refers to legal guardians, foster parents, and other persons including relatives or even non-relatives who have physical custody of the child. School visitor or guest refers to any person who visits a school and has any official business with the school.
And any person who does not have any official business but is found within premises of the school. This may include those who are within the school premises for certain reasons. For example, students, teacher, catechists, service providers, suppliers, biders, parents, and guardians of other children. Child abuse refers to the maltreatment of a child, whether habitual or not. Psychological or physical abuse, neglect, cruelty, sexual abuse, and emotional maltreatment. Discrimination against children.
Discrimination against children refers to an act of exclusion, extinction, restriction, or preference.
Discrimination against children is based on any grounds such as age, ethnicity, sex, sexual orientation and gender identity, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or being infected and affected by human immunodeficiency virus or acquired immune deficiency syndrome or AIDS. Child exploitation refers to the use of children for someone else's advantage, gratification, or profit. There are two main forms of the child exploitation that are recognized. First is sexual or exploitation. It refers to the abuse of a position or vulnerability, differential powers, or trust for sexual purposes. It includes but is not limited to forcing a child to participate in prostitution or the production of pornographic materials as a result of being subjected to a threat, deception, coercion, abduction, force, abuse of authority. Next is economic exploitation. Economic exploitation refers to the use of the child in work or other activities for the benefit of others. Economic exploitation involves a certain gain or profit through the production, distribution, or consumption of goods and services. This includes but is not limited illegal child labor as defined in RA 9231.
Violence against children committed in schools. It includes but is not limited to the following acts. Physical violence refers to acts that inflict bodily or physical harm.
Sexual violation refers to acts that are sexual in nature, include rape, sexual harassment, physically attacking the sexual part of the victim's body, and forcing the child to watch sexual publication and indecent shows of forcing the child to sexual acts. Psychological violence refers to the acts or omissions causing or likely to cause mental or emotional suffering of the child, such as but not limited to intimidation, harassment, stalking, damage to property, and repeated verbal abuse.
Other acts of violence of a physical, sexual, or psychological nature that are prejudicial to the best interests of the child. Bullying or peer abuse refers to willful aggressive behavior that is directed towards a particular victim who may be vulnerable. There are two types, bullying and cyberbullying.
Or a series of single acts directed towards several students in a school setting or place of learning, which result in physical or mental abuse, harassment, intimidation, or humiliation.
Other acts of abuse by a pupil, student, or learner refers to other serious acts or abuse committed by a pupil, student, or learner upon another pupil of the same school. Corporal punishment refers to a kind of punishment or penalty imposed for an alleged or actual offense.
It is based on the fundamental principle that children are full human beings with basic human rights. Positive discipline begins with setting a long-term goal or impact the teacher wants to have on their students' adult lives, and using everyday situations and challenges as opportunities to teach lifelong skills and values to students. The Child Protection Committee shall be composed of the following: school head or administrator, chairperson, guidance counselor, teacher or teacher vice chairperson, representative of the teacher as designated with the faculty club, representative of the parent as designated by the Parent Teachers Association, representative of pupils, students, and learners as designated by the Supreme Student Council, Next is a representative from the community as designated with the punong barangay, preferably the member of the barangay council for the protection of children.
The Child Protection Policy shall perform the following function. The school heads shall have the following duties and responsibilities. Pupils, students, and learners shall have the following duties and responsibilities. Procedures in handling bullying incidents. The victim and offending child shall be referred to the Child Protection Committee for counseling and other interventions. Penalty of suspension for not more than 1 week may be imposed by the school head if such is warranted. Bullying that results in serious physical injuries or death, the case shall be dealt with in accordance with the provisions of Republic Act 9344. Next is suspension, exclusion, and expulsion. For investigation and reporting, in public schools, the school head or the school's division superintendent, upon receipt of the complaint, shall forward the same within 48 hours to the disciplining authority. Disciplining authority who shall then issue an order for the conduct of a fact-finding investigation not later than 72 hours from submission. Local government unit must provide psychosocial intervention to help the child victim and the offender. Investigation and reporting for private schools. The private school shall submit the report to the division office after each school year. A complaint must be in writing, signed, and sworn by the complainant. It shall contain the following: the identity or other information that may identify the pupil, student, or learner shall be withheld from the public. Magna Carta for public school teachers protect the rights of teachers in confidentiality. Generalization. For application, give some example of positive learning environment you've experienced and what is your opinion about DepEd Child Protection Policy and Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. For evaluation, write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. For your assignment, write one paragraph essay. What would you do if you've seen a student being bullied in school? State your action. Thank you for listening. God bless.